A. Doc White for his 50 years of service as Scoutmaster to Troop 159 of Hanston, Kansas. I would like at this time to ask Senator Larry Sammons to please say a few words.
Doc's already given me a bad time. That goes back 50 years, I'll tell you. And I don't think I'll ever be rid of him, but it's great to be here today. I want to just to say thank you so much for putting this together. I know there's a lot of you have done it and worked hard on it. This week, I've been pretty busy up at the Senate, but one of the most important tasks that I did, and the most important thing, was to have a resolution read into the official record, into the archives of the state of Kansas for Doc White. And I've asked the reader to come, as we do in the Senate. We say, will the reader please come forward and read the resolution? Will the reader please come?
A resolution congratulating and commending Richard A. Doc White. Whereas Richard A. Doc White of Hanston started as the Scoutmaster of Troop 159 in April of 1949 and has continued in this position to this day, a total of over 50 years of service to Scouts and scouting everywhere. And whereas Richard A. White has been the recipient of nearly every award in scouting. He received the Silver Beaver Award in 1959, the Order of the Arrow Vigil Award in 64, the Wood Badge in 65, the District Award of Merit in 1984, the E. Erner Goodman Founders Award in 1997, and just last year in 1999, the National President's Scoutmaster Award of Merit. Whereas Richard A. White has resided in Hanston since 1937 and worked as a rural mail carrier from 1948 to 1989. He has been an active member of the Hanston Methodist Church. He served in the U.S. Army during World War II with duty in the Philippine Islands and Okinawa. And whereas Richard A. White and his wife Alta Lee had 2 sons and 1 daughter. They also adopted and reared 2 grandsons. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the State of Kansas, Senate Resolution number 1809, the State of Kansas, that we congratulate and commend Richard A. White for his many years of conscientious service to scouting and the Hanston community, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of the Senate be directed to provide an enrolled copy of this resolution to Richard A. White, P.O. Box number 1, Hanston, Kansas 67849. Congratulations, Doc.
A paper to someone to read on the flag. We flew the flag. Did that person come forward, or did I lose that in the process? Oh, here it is. John's got it.
State of Kansas, to all to whom these presents shall come, greetings. I, Ron Thornburg, Secretary of State of the State of Kansas, do hereby certify that the official flag of the State of Kansas, which accompanies this certificate, was flown over the state capitol on the 28th day of January, A.D. 2000, at the request of Senator Larry D. Sammons for presentation to Richard Doc White, in honor of his 50 years of dedication and service to Scout Troop 159 of Hanston, Kansas. In testimony whereof, I hereto set my hand and cause to be fixed my official seal done at the city of Topeka this 28th day of January, A.D. 2000. Ron Thornburg, Secretary of State.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to make this presentation to Doc. I'm not sure that this flag was folded right. We used to have to do it a lot in Scouts, and I'm just looking at it, I'm not sure it's
Never remember
for just a moment, because I also wrote him a letter, and that's not much compared to what Doc has done for me, but I did write a letter. It is hard to put into words how much you have meant to me over the years. I think back to the time when I was a scout and how much time you spent working with me. You may have been much easier on me because I was the first Eagle Scout, or maybe it was the other way around. I remember thinking that I would never make it, but your continuous support sustained and encouraged me to finish. Many times throughout my life, when I was tempted to give up on something, I would think back to those days and I'd say to myself, if I could become an eagle under Doc White, I can do anything. In my opinion, your greatest attribute has been your constant example, living out both the oath and the laws of scouting, day by day and year after year. Your contribution to the young people of Hanston is immeasurable. I want to say thank you from our community, from our state, and from your senator. Signed, Larry Salmons. I think I'll add a couple of personal notes because I probably won't get this back, and he'll be up here in a minute talking and rebuttal everything I said. But I think back over the years, probably the scouting experience for me was one of the great ones. I have said it many times that it was harder for me to get the Eagle Scout than the master's degree in college, and I meant that. It was very difficult in the time that I was working. And I do really think that Doc and the people that was involved, and many of you are out there that was also helping Doc at that time and encouraging me. But I think those times, as I reflect back on them, have molded and made a lot of the things that I am and who I am. And I appreciate it deeply from the bottom of my heart. A couple of young men in church was acting out, and this would be typical of what Doc would do. These young men were acting out, and the preacher finally was very angry at what they had been doing, and so he waited till the service was over, went back, caught him, and said, "Come into my office." One of them was sitting outside while the other one was in there, and you all know what I mean when Doc calls you into the office. And so he kept asking him about some things and his behavior and things like that, and these young men kept denying it. And he wanted to really get to the bottom of this, and he said, "Do you know where God is?" And the young man said, "No." Shakingly, he turned and the pastor said, "You can go." As he went by the other young man, he said, "Man, we're in deep trouble. They think we stole God." Doc sometimes holds that position in some of our lives. And with that, he said to keep it short, and so I will. Thanks a lot, Doc, for all you are.
And I'm living proof. Well, Doc, you have done a lot for all of us. I remember back the first time I went to camp, I was fascinated with those gas lanterns. You know, I'd never seen one of them before. Had this nice chrome shiny nut on top of it. Doc always told me, he says, "You leave that lantern alone." And all curious me, no, I had to keep looking at it. We had it lit up one night there around the picnic table, and that chrome nut was just fascinating me, and I had to reach up and touch it. So I did. And I had a donut-shaped blister all week long on the end of my finger. It served me right. I gotta find my place here now. You're telling stories. Oh, I wanted everyone to notice the list at the back table over here by the Eagles. We've done a bunch of research and went back through old Scout records, charts, and put together a list of the registered Scouts that have been registered under Doc White. And we came up with a list of just over 240 Scouts. And if you would please look at that list, if you see anyone or remember anyone and that we have forgotten or omitted, please write it on the bottom of the list because we would like to revise it and have a current copy of the registered Scouts under Doc White. Okay. I'll get lost real easy, as you notice. Yeah, I was that way as a kid too, wasn't I? Still a kid at heart. Okay, in Doc's 50 years, he has helped many young people, not just in our community, but all over the state and the United States, while serving on many a camp staff. But I think there are a group of men that Doc has influenced most, and that's Eagle Scouts of Troop 159. This time I'd like Jim Keir to come forward. Please read that list.
First one. John White. Larry Roberts. Charles Osborne. I know he's here. I seen him here a little while ago. Somebody said, "That's Charles." I said, "Can't be." Last time I knew Charles weighed 120 pounds. Of course, I did too. How are you? Yes, I did. Rodney Osborne, deceased. Randy Selfridge. John Nye. Kevin White. Arlen Hawley. Bruce Hausman. Harry Hausman. Jim Nye. Jerry Nye. Lots of Nyes. Mark Parr. Todd McElroy. Jeff Miller. Mark Salmons. Keith Cure. Brian Hastings. Aaron Rittenhouse. Darren Cure. Larry Jarrett. Brian Salmons. Craig Nye. Justin Salmons. Matt Cure. Corey White. Alan Siebes. Casey White. Ben Nye. Gonna shake all of them today. Clint Griffey. Brian Nye. That'd be Warren Jennings. Todd Ruff. Lucas Selfridge. And last but not least, Levi Selfridge. Here that we have there, stand up. We think this is accurate. I think it's 38 of them total. And we need to line something up here a little bit to get your pictures. I don't know how you guys gonna do this. There's a lot of them. If you figure the 240 scouts we've got and divide that number into it, it's a high percentage. Forget somebody.
I've been doing this quite a bit today. For Doc's 50 years as Scoutmaster, Troop 159, you will always be the Scoutmaster. So we give you a plaque. You can keep that on as long as you want to. And also we have a neckerchief embroidered with, says Troop 159, Hanston, Kansas, Doc White, Scoutmaster from 1949 to 1999. It's overwhelming. It really is. I see so many here that were great scouts. Maybe not eagle, but they were eagle in quality. Proud of each and every one of you. I have to mention Barry Widget. He couldn't swim. And swimming is one of the main requirements for people there. And for a while, it wasn't a requirement. It was too late. And that was the same way with a lot of others. A lot of others were kept from the eagle because they couldn't learn Morse code. And I can't blame them there. What the rules were, okay? Can you hear me now? That's right, I can hear me now. But the rules were rules, and they all had to abide by them. Some rules have changed for worse, some for better, but they're still very strict and very cognizant rules from tenderfoot on up. The most important rank in scouting is tenderfoot, because once he gets that, he's on his way. Now, it isn't that they gave these ranks just for the rank's sake. It is a sign that they are developing a character, and some of them have been real characters. I look over the crowd and I see so many faces just meaning so much to me, from the district and the council, and they're all my friends, and they're all my family. I even see these ladies in the Jetmore Republican here. But this is an overwhelming experience for me. I knew I had a lot of friends, but I didn't realize how many dedicated friends I had. And I love you all, and I hope that you have a good time, and I don't want the day to end. Thank you very much.
We'll see if we get everything sounding right here. Everybody hear that? I got a serious song here to start out with. It's pretty new, so we'll see how it goes. I wish I could feel the shoes of a healer who lives in his hometown. And I, that eagle, is watching you in this strengthens our little town. When a scout stumbles and falls, turns a boy to a man. I am that eagle is watching you, and this strengthens our little town. Now this world should take notice the treasures that we found.
Eagle Scout, you can become almost anything. That was good. I didn't know we were a camporee. In honor of Doc's service to community, we've set up a troop scholarship fund that has been established and will help to reduce the cost of camp for each kid that is registered in Troop 159. We're going to put it in a certificate of deposit. The interest that is accumulated over the year will then be divided amongst each registered scout to help reduce his cost to camp. And we have those forms and envelopes at the back here. Anyone wishing to contribute to this camp scholarship fund, please feel free to pick one up, and we will appreciate whatever we get. I'd like to ask Nolan Salmons to come forward at this time. He has some things that he would like to read.
That rooster came in the yard. There's a letter sent here from Boy Scouts of America, National Office out of Irving, Texas. Dear Mr. Richard White, congratulations and thank you for the 50 years of service to youth through scouting. Your golden anniversary signifies the full half-century commitment to having the bold future of adults. We take great satisfaction in recognizing that you, as a concerned citizen, have been dedicated to the cause of youth through scouting. We are fortunate to be numbered among associates in this great movement and appreciate the dedication and concern which your service to youth represents. Through your activity in scouting, youth have been inspired to be a citizen and do their duty to God and country. Your determination to succeed, your enthusiasm for life, your interest and concern, and your guidance and leadership of others are cornerstones upon which the youth of today build tomorrow's world. Thank you for sharing your life with so many people seeking guidance. Scouting was great yesterday, it is great today, and it will even be greater tomorrow, as long as people like you in leadership and inspiration. Best wishes and good luck, good health, and good scouting in the years. Sincerely, Edward Whittaker, President, and Gerald B. Ratcliffe, Chief Scout Executive. That's what I was to read. There's the youth. Had some awards listed here a while ago that Craig gave, and there was one that was received in the church this morning, or given to God. He received the God and Country Religious Award for his duties, and that was just one more I wanted to add. And then there was a statement made by Doc. He said, "Scouting owes me nothing, but that I will always be indebted to scouting for the great pleasure and satisfaction of being able to work with country's greatest resource, our youth." Thank you, Doc.
I have a list of people that have helped Doc through the years. This list is in no way, I'm sure reflective of all the people that have helped. Logan Mead, Les Chilson, Albert Weirbaugh, Frank Osborne, Rodney Osborne, Lane and Monica Hawley, Elmer and Anna Selfridge, Don and Pat Hausman, Margaret Selfridge, Jim and Colleen Keir, Joe and Maureen Nye, Walt and Wynn Salmons, Gary and Leanne Seiler, John and Roberta Nye, Ron and Deborah Ruff, Deborah Selfridge, and numerous other people have donated their time, money, and help to the use of the Hanston community. I'd like to call John forward. You said you had something you wanted to.
Well, I don't really have anything really prepared, but after watching everybody here and seeing all the people that are here, I'm really impressed. People you can't hear. I didn't want you to, Craig. Okay. What I wanted to say, though, is like I said, I didn't have anything really prepared to say, and I wanted to, when Larry talked about and when Wade talked about all the Eagles and what it took to become an Eagle, my first thought was kind of like Dad, I think, right back to Gary Winget. I knew Gary. Gary and I grew up together, and it was kind of a disappointment that Gary could not get his Eagle when I got mine, and because he helped me a lot in that. I want to say thank you to the people of Hanston for treating my dad and my mom the way you have. Probably ain't gonna be able to say too much more. Dad, I just want to say I love you. And I don't think I could have asked for a better dad in the world. Thank you.
John got me choked up too. I want to thank everyone for coming. Afterwards, we will have cake and punch served. I would like to ask at this time, Doc, please, in closing.